Odd happenings take place on Monday Night Raw, with several possible teases to the return of Uncle Howdy, also known as Bo Dallas. All of the details about these hidden messages that we saw last night during Raw's broadcast. The Rock says his story from Cody Rhodes is just beginning and hands the brand new undisputed WWE Universal Champion a mystery object. We'll let you know what that object could be. Jey Uso is the brand new #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, as CM Punk once again has screwed Drew McIntyre. The former World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins reportedly is taking time off after his WrestleMania weekend. John Cena makes a surprise appearance last night on Raw to team up with the Awesome Truth against the Judgment Day. Ilya Dragunov makes his Raw debut as the WWE Draft is announced for later on this month. Speaking of NXT champions appearing on Raw, Roxanne Perez makes her Raw debut. Sheamus is on his way back to WWE television as a vignette for his return airs last night during the broadcast. Jade Cargill makes her Raw in-ring debut. Plus, we have the ratings for Friday's WrestleMania Go Home edition of SmackDown. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with these mystery teases that seemingly point to a return to Uncle Howdy to WWE television. Now, strange things, as I mentioned, were afoot ahead of Monday's episode of Raw, because prior to the show even beginning on USA Network, a fan posted a video to social media of lights flickering along with a quick musical tease. Here's what happened before the show went on the air. Certainly very ominous stuff, and it kind of reminded people a little bit to the teases that took place prior to Bray Wyatt making his return to WWE back in 2022. Of course, the song White Rabbit would play during commercial breaks or before the show went on the air with the lights going out inside the arena. This, of course, led up to the QR codes, the mystery teases, the glitches, the puppets that eventually led to Bray Wyatt making his return at Extreme Rules 2022. Now, in addition to this happening before the show went on the air, we can actually see during the broadcast itself, we saw this. This was a glitch whilst Bronson Reed, the 2024 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale winner, was cutting a promo backstage when the bottom of the screen scrambled in a familiar static pattern. But if you just look very closely here, in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, the word hello appeared. You can see it right there, seemingly more than a technical glitch, more of a message. Now, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, they have confirmed that these teasers are meant anyway, to herald the on-screen return of WWE superstar Bo Dallas, who portrayed the Uncle Howdy character as part of his late brother's Bray Wyatt storyline after both made their way back to WWE in late 2022. Dallas, who has remained under WWE contract despite Uncle Howdy being removed from WWE programming due to the Wyatt illness and then obviously his untimely tragic passing, was recently featured in a WWE-produced Peacock documentary on Wyndham Rotunda. In the documentary, Dallas talked about needing to create something to make his brother proud, and an Uncle Howdy tease was shown at the end of the film. Following the documentary's release, Fightful Select reported that a comeback for Dallas was planned, and that tease was as part of the tease of him returning to television, but they aren't certain as to what he's going to return to WWE TV as, whether he's going to return as Bo Dallas, as Uncle Howdy, as Taylor Rotunda, his real name, or some other character. Now, Dallas was first signed to WWE Developmental in 2008, working in Florida Championship Wrestling before the promotion transitioned into WWE NXT. He enjoyed a lengthy reign as NXT champion in 2013 and 2014, losing the title on the very first premium live event to broadcast via the WWE Network, but a subsequent main roster run faltered and he was released in 2021, eventually returning alongside Wyatt the following year. So, what do you make of these teasers? What do you make of Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy possibly returning to television? Do you think it's going to work? Are you excited for it? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below. Now, Raw kicked off last night with a confrontation between the brand new undisputed WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes and the final boss, The Rock, and it looks like their story is just beginning. But many people are wondering what was handed to the brand new champion by the Great One. Now, new undisputed WWE Universal Champion champion Cody Rhodes may have finished his story with Roman Reigns, but The Rock confirmed their story is just beginning after he pinned Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 40 Night 1. On the Raw after WrestleMania 40, a traditionally rowdy crowd and show when it comes to those in attendance, The Rock interrupted the new champion to not only give him his flowers, but also give him a mysterious object, saying Rhodes wouldn't even have to open his hand to know what it was, and also a reminder to never break his heart again. Rhodes was introduced by Paul Triple H Levesque to open the show, and a video package recapping his victory and his rise to the top of WWE was played. Rhodes began to address the crowd before The Rock's music hit. The men waited in the ring as the crowd chanted various things at the final boss. The Rock told Rhodes that his father in heaven had a big smile on his face when Rhodes captured the championship and asked if he could hold the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The two stars traded bouts for a moment as The Rock was still carrying the bout given to him by Muhammad Ali's widow at the 2024 WWE Hall of Fame ceremony on Friday night. The Rock then said he has to go away for a little while, but when he comes back, whether Rhodes is champion or not, he's coming for him. He said that Rhodes' story with Reigns may be over, but our story has just begun. Rhodes replied that while The Rock is his actual boss since he's on the TKO board, Rhodes is the champion and he's The Rock's champion. That's when The Rock gave Rhodes something small that could fit into his hand without showing the audience or people at home before, quote, riding off into the sunset. Now, as of this recording, it's unclear when he plans to return or what the object is. So the question is, what do you think the object is that The Rock gave him? Is it a ring? Is it a lighter? Of course, Cody Rhodes' bus was set on fire prior to WrestleMania. Is it something else? Let me know your theories, your predictions in the comment section below, and when you think The Rock will face Cody Rhodes in the future. We have the new number one contender for the brand new World Heavyweight Champion in Damian Priest, because Jey Uso has seemingly booked his ticket to challenge for championship gold. With Drew McIntyre set to right the wrong of CM Punk costing him the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, poised for a Claymore kick on a vulnerable main event Jey Uso to close out the main event fatal four-way match on Raw last night, CM Punk once again showed up, grabbing a hold of McIntyre's foot just long enough for Uso to recover, hit a super kick, a spear, and finish McIntyre off with an Uso splash. Big Bronson Reed and Ricochet were the two other combatants in the number one contenders match, and for the finish, those two were nowhere to be found, with Ricochet having hit a 450 splash off the top rope on Reed through the Spanish announce table on the outside. McIntyre set the stage for what looked like a win for him by hitting Uso with a Future Shock DDT, the same move, of course, he credits for injuring Punk at the Royal Rumble, only to be thwarted in the second time in 2 days by his arch nemesis. Uso will now get a crack at Damian Priest for his World Heavyweight Championship, although a date for that matchup has not yet been announced. He has challenged for a world title 4 times previously in his career, losing twice in 2020 to Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, a third time at SummerSlam in 2023 in the Tribal Combat match that was pivotal to the Bloodline story, as well as once for the very title to Seth Rollins in December 2023 on an episode of Raw. So when do you think this match is going to take place? What do you think the outcome is going to be? And what do you think happens next when it comes to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre? Is CM Punk going to continue to appear on Monday Night Raw? Is he going to be closer to competing than we think? Where do we think this one is going? Now, speaking of the former champion Seth Rollins, he is reportedly set to take some time off following his big WrestleMania weekend. After losing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship to Drew McIntyre and later in the night serving as the Ultimate Shield for Cody Rhodes during the WrestleMania 40 main event, Seth Rollins will be taking some time off. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, the hope is that Rollins will only be taking around 4 weeks off. Now, seemingly again, he didn't have any presence last night on Raw, but again, we could see him possibly come back in a month's time. We're getting more details on Rollins' absence or when we can expect him back further than the 4 weeks. We'll let you know in a future video. Now, John Cena made a surprise appearance last night on Monday Night Raw. Of course, the Raw after WrestleMania is usually fraught with surprises, as the Judgment Day celebrated its championship victories at WrestleMania on Raw, with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley hoisting their respective World Championship titles in the air. A third bout suddenly appeared on screen, a Raw Tag Team Championship bout, with R-Truth once again rejoining a Judgment Day party in which he wasn't invited. Priest was instantly irked, and then Finn Balor had the idea to challenge them for the titles that the Awesome Truth just won at WrestleMania in the six-pack ladder match. Truth said that they couldn't do that because there were three of them, me, you, and the guy we can't see, who of course turned out to be John Cena, joining The Miz and Truth mid-match for a six-man tag team match against Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough. Cena cleaned house once he entered, and then led the Raw Tag Team Champions in a 15-knuckle shuffle, followed by attitude adjustments in triplicate to get the match victory. Following the result, the 16-time WWE World Champion celebrated with The Miz and R-Truth while thanking the Philadelphia crowd who, the night before, saw Cena interfere on behalf of new undisputed WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes, taking out Solo Sikoa and eventually staring down the Rock before receiving a rock bottom from the final boss. Now, Cena's involvement with WWE moving forward is a major question mark, although he indicated on the Pat McAfee show earlier on Monday he'd like to have one more good run if he can get Hollywood to pump the brakes for a while, which he said he's aiming to do at the end of this year. We spoke about this yesterday, but it was confirmed on Raw last night. The draft is coming, and one person that's going to be involved and available to be drafted is the current NXT champion, Ilya Dragunov. The Raw after WrestleMania has historically been a time for huge announcements and landscape-shifting appearances. Monday night both were true as the WWE draft was announced, and NXT champion Ilya Dragunov made his Raw debut, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura in a non-title singles match. As both men made their way to the ring, Michael Cole announced that the WWE draft would begin on the April 26th episode of SmackDown and conclude on the following episode of Raw on April 29, 2024. Cole also announced that Dragunov would be participating in the draft, implying a main roster call-up for the NXT champion. Dragunov made an impeccable first impression on his main roster appearance. Nakamura attempted many of his vintage tricks, including a sliding German suplex that left Dragunov's head spinning. However, Nakamura could not stop the walls from closing in on him, and an H-bomb followed by a torpedo Moscow earned the NXT champion a pinfall victory to open up the post-WrestleMania edition of Raw. So Dragunov is going to be part of the upcoming draft. We also got more NXT representation last night in the form of brand new NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. The Raw after WrestleMania, as mentioned, is known for new talent debuts and returns, and after NXT champion Ilya Dragunov made his Raw debut by defeating Shinsuke Nakamura, NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez made her own Raw debut against Indy Hartwell, against whom she had unfinished business. A year ago at NXT Stand and Deliver 2023, Hartwell won a six-pack ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship, then in possession of Perez. Hartwell, however, was only able to defend the championship twice before relinquishing it due to injury. The title loss was a crystallizing moment for Perez's character, who cited it as part of the justification for her recent heel turn on NXT TV, as she felt the title should have been returned to her once it was vacated. Now Perez is champion once again after defeating Lyra Valkyria at Stand and Deliver 2024, and she finally got her opportunity to mete out some revenge last night on Raw. The Prodigy slapped Hartwell in the face to start the match and proceeded to dominate with her new aggressive style. Hartwell did get some offense in, as well as some unwanted help from Candice LeRae at ringside, who tripped up Perez. Hartwell wasn't pleased and began bickering with LeRae. While the referee was distracted, Perez raked Hartwell's eyes and followed up with pop rocks to pick up her first victory on the main roster. As I said, Raw also saw the official announcement of the 2024 WWE Draft, which will take place over 2 nights later this month. It's unclear, as of this recording, whether Perez will be eligible in the same way that Dragunov is. If we get any more confirmation and clarity on that, we'll let you know in a future video. Sheamus, fella, is on his way back to WWE TV. Former WWE champion Sheamus hasn't been on television since August due to a shoulder injury, but that could be changing very soon. A video package for the Celtic Warrior aired during Monday's episode of Raw, though a set return date for the star was not immediately confirmed. The video showcased highlights from Sheamus' previous matches, with the former champion's voiceover saying he comes from a long line of Celtic warriors and that he doesn't care if a brawl is in the arena, barroom, or back in Ireland. The time for fighting is now. Now, Sheamus has not been seen on WWE television since SmackDown last summer, where he took on Edge, now known as AEW's Adam Copeland, in his final WWE match. Despite being accompanied by the Brawling Brutes, Butch and Rich Holland, Sheamus was defeated by Edge after the Rated R superstar hit him with 2 spears. Now, seemingly, a lot has changed in his absence. Butch has gone back to his original ring name of Pete Dunne, and he's formed the New Catch Republic with Tyler Bates, while Holland is currently in NXT working a storyline that involved his kayfabe return retirement, although he did get physical at Stand and Deliver this past weekend. Sheamus has shared some cryptic messages on X regarding his status of his contract, which is reportedly set to expire this year, but if this package is any indication, he may have come to terms on a new WWE contract. Now, last night on Raw, we also saw the Raw in-ring debut of Jade Cargill. The Storm touched down on Raw Monday night, and she reigned on Chelsea Green's parade. Despite WrestleMania weekend officially ending with Sunday's show, Green stormed into General Manager Adam Pearce's office Monday evening and demanded that she get her moment. Pearce and SmackDown's Nick Aldis agreed to her request, and without inquiring as to who her opponent would be, Green happily waltzed out to the ring. Green could not have anticipated the arrival of Jade Cargill, officially making her Raw in-ring debut. After Green briefly and unsuccessfully argued with the officials to end the match prematurely, she ate a solid boot from Cargill. One chicken wing facebuster later, Cargill was pinning Green in classic Cargill fashion, with her body leaned back and her hair in Green's face. Green is just the latest name on Cargill's most recent list of victims, as she, Bianca Belair, and Naomi overcame Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane of Damage Control on WrestleMania Night 1. Despite this being Cargill's first match on Raw, Aldis clarified that her presence was a collaboration between himself and Pearce. It can be assumed that as of this recording, that Cargill is still signed to SmackDown, and this looks to be just a one-off cameo for an explosive post-WrestleMania edition of Raw, but you never know, she could be drafted to the Red Brand in the future, with the draft coming up later on this month. And finally, SmackDown delivers huge numbers for the WrestleMania Go Home edition of the show on Fox this past Friday. The WrestleMania 40 Go Home show of SmackDown saw a huge uptick in viewership and ratings. WrestleNomics has reported that the April 5 edition of the Blue Brand saw 2.6 million viewers tune into the show. That is an 18% increase compared to last week's 2.2 million viewers, and the highest viewership the show has done since December 25, 2022. The key demographic rating for the show was a 0.77, which marked an even bigger 28% jump from the previous week. The show also saw a 13% increase in viewership and 19% increase in the rating compared to the previous 4 weeks' average. The report revealed that the show was ranked number 1 on broadcast television despite the competition that they face. The Blue Brand had to compete with the NCAA Division I women's basketball game between UConn and Iowa, which brought in a record 14 million viewers, while another game between South Carolina and NC State raked in almost 7 million viewers. The Friday night show kicked off April well in terms of viewership and the rating, with an 11% jump in the former and a 24% increase in the latter compared to the same period last year. SmackDown's WrestleMania 40 Go Home show saw Bronson Reed being crowned the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner, while Logan Paul was chased by his WrestleMania 40 opponents, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi cut a promo to promote their match against Damage Control on the grandest stage of them all, as did LA Knight to continue his feud with AJ Styles. The main event of the show was a singles match between Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa, which was interrupted by Jimmy Uso, but Jey had backup in the form of Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, who cleaned house and sent their final message ahead of their big WrestleMania match 24 hours later. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.